in a different way from other podcasts. So I'm going to give you an introduction about myself. First of all, thank you for coming on board. Thank you for giving me that opportunity to have you on, sir.
No doubt.
So with the Heavy Brand Podcast is my way of giving back to the youth of Detroit. In 1987, I was a child refugee, and I landed in Detroit, Michigan, from Accra, Ghana, West Africa. My father had been a politician. Things didn't work out well in Ghana in those days, and the United States took us in. So my father, we got reunited with my father. And then the Catholic Church did a fundraiser, and I was reunited with my siblings as well. So I realized that our youth here in Detroit, similar to other big cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, the youth don't have enough positive role models. So with this podcast, youth podcast, I'm able to get people of high character, people with real world experiences to share their experiences. And in doing so, we get that positive role modeling for the youth.
Right. I feel that. That's what's up. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Mr. Wilson, give us a little background. I was under the impression that you're originally from Los Angeles. Break down your coming of age, so to speak, before you became a professional fighter, doing YouTube videos with Cali Muscle and signing with Golden Boy Promotions. Who was James Wilson before he became the Beast?
Yeah, man, I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, man. South Central. So, we came up, unfortunately, like a lot of inner city kids, man, came up in a single parent home for half of my youth. And then the second half of my youth, I was raised in foster care. I was in a group home. So growing up, man, it was a struggle. Being in LA, you got only a few choices, especially at this time. Is you go gang bang, you go play sports, and those are pretty much your options. So early on, my whole thing was I'm in the streets. That was my way, We were homeless. So between the ages of 12 to 15, we was on the streets. So, it's that you got to tap into that mindset where it's survival mode. You know what I mean? So me being the boy, I got to make sure that my mother and my sister, that they getting some food, man. So I'm going out, I'm doing what I got to do. And if I got to knock you upside your head in the process of doing that to take care of mine, that's what I was doing. You know what I mean? It was survival mode, So that's just the way it was. But, everything that I think has transpired from when I was a kid is all, it's all stages, it's all building blocks to build you up to who you meant to become. You know what I mean? So there's nothing that I would take back that's happened. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are gone now that I came up with because of that street life. You know what I mean? And that's, unfortunately, that's part of the shit that comes with the territory. You know what I mean? And it's, those of us who's able to make that choice within ourselves that this ain't the life we want to live, man, we could turn our shit around too, and it could be whatever we want it to be. You know what I mean? But it all starts with a choice that we got to make within ourselves. And that's what I did after being locked up a few times and being in a group home. And, at some point shit just clicked. It's like, you know what? There got to be another way. You know what I mean? I don't like the way that felt. So because I didn't like the way that felt and the way that made my mom and the rest of my family feel, I got to do what I got to do to make sure we never see that situation again,
Mm-hmm. So your conscience was working. Your conscience was talking to you that it was time to make some changes.
Right. I mean, you can only do the same shit for so long before the shit really catch up to your ass. And now you facing real time where you in a fucking casket. You know what I mean? So it was, luckily for me, I got it sort of kind of early on in the middle, like the mid-teens, you know what I mean? And really what happened to help me realize that was when I started playing sports.
Now, so with sports, were you always drawn to football or was it track? Because you ran track too as well, correct?
Yeah, football, track, basketball, played all of them in high school, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were active, as they say. Okay.
I stayed active year round, man. Yeah, yeah. But you know what though? See, that was my release, man. Remember, I'm straight out of juvenile hall. I'm in a group home, so we're in a house with 16 other boys. You know what I mean? They tell you when to shit, when to piss, when to eat, how you got to cut your hair, what you can wear, when you can use the phone. It was structured like a motherfucker. But in hindsight, looking back as a grown man now, that's what I needed. I needed that structure. You know what I mean? To put me on that path to get to where I am today. But the sports is what helped to build that, to bring it out of you. See, a lot of times we got this shit already in us, man. It just takes certain events to bring it out of us. You know what I mean? And people can't be scared to tap into that shit. It's uncomfortable for people. It's that discomfort that make people tend to shy away and run from the situation. But that's the shit that we need.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, flash forward years later through all those, challenges you had to go through, all those hurdles. What got you into the professional fight game?
Um, well, it was just kind of off the whim because I wasn't one of those people who say like my kids, they've been trained since they're 4 or 5 years old. I wasn't one of those people. I was playing football. You know what I mean? I went to college on a full scholarship. I got picked up by Chicago Bears as a free agent. My thing was football. I was only worried about football. That was my way out. But, at some point, my passion for the game changed. And so I always told myself, whenever I'm done playing ball, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to pursue it 100%. And I'm going to tell you, one of the first people I saw that made me want to do it, of course, we all grew up watching fighting and boxing and, Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. But as far as the new school wave, because remember I did MMA first. So at the time, UFC was the big popping thing, early 2000s. But it was my man Kimbo. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I remember I'm in college and my teammates called me in like, yo, look at this dude down the floor just knocking everybody out. I'm like, I could do that. You know what I mean? So once I was finally done playing ball, man, I just went on and did it full go.
Now, I see how you interact with your kids. You got them in, you got them active early, and that brings a smile to my face. What does having kids do for you? Like from a personal level, looking back at your childhood and looking at your kids now.
Yeah, I definitely think it brings out the best, sort of the best person that I want to be, man. The best, because I didn't have a father. I don't know what it's like to have your father give you a hug and a kiss, or to give you advice, or to correct you when you're wrong. I didn't have that. If you got checked or corrected, it was by, I'm saying, the big homies on the block. So it wasn't. I never had that fatherly love. So that definitely made me want to give them all that I didn't have. And at the end of the day, man, that's what every kid deserves. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
I'm not the soft ass parent where I'm gonna pat you on the ass. No, I'm like we structure. We sort of militant, you know what I mean? But that's what a lot of kids need, man. Especially, growing up in LA, you need that structure. You need motherfuckers to be up on your ass. Cause it could go left real quick. And we all know what happened once it go left. You know what I mean? And you see that by a lot of kids who are out here quick to pull out a gun. Quick to do everything. It's like the days of using your hands and people being tough is sort of gone. It's easy to pull out a gun, but get those things up. That shows the real character.
Hmm. 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 Now, balancing kids and being a professional athlete, a true professional athlete, how are you able to balance the two so effectively?
Man, it definitely sometimes gets pretty draining. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, this is the life I chose. This is what comes along with it. You know what I mean? And at the end of the road, everything is gonna show. It's gonna show itself. Everything is gonna be for a reason. You know what I mean? So I can never be one of those people who's gonna put one more so than the other. And the thing is, I include them into what I do. You know what I mean? So yeah, of course, there's times where I'm tired. I don't feel like playing. Nah, don't matter. That's my responsibility as a man. I brought y'all into this world. I got my career, I got my kids, and I just try to mesh them both together, man.
I mean, that's beautiful. Like beautiful is the word, that comes to mind. In addition to this podcast and working with youth as my 9 to 5, I like to incorporate my three little ones into some of my workouts. Obviously I'm not a pro athlete, but just a regular dad that used to be somewhat athletic. I like to get my kids involved as well. Now, what does your typical 9 to 5 look like as an athlete?
Training, eating, training, eating. Yeah, it's especially so. Say like if we in camp, I mean, we train 3 times a day. I mean, you're waking up, getting your run in, coming back, getting a quick little bite, going into training. You know what I'm saying? Then you get your lunch, you get a quick little nap, going back in, training again, getting your conditioning in, then you get your night run. So, I mean, it's literally you working out 8 hours out of the day, 8, 9 hours out of the day, man. And then, we go a day off to get your body rest up. But it's a lifestyle. I mean, a lot of people who ain't lived it don't fully understand. But it ain't something where if you really want to be successful at it, where you could do it half-ass, where it's a part-time thing, that's not how you're going to reach the pinnacle of, what you want to do. So it has to become your lifestyle.
And I mean, that makes a lot of sense being a former Marine. Like the structure and the routine was just like, it was repetitive, but it was necessary because we had to prepare for, something big.
Right. Yeah. As I say, you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Exactly. I first seen you, when I first ever seen you, it was a Cali Muscle video. It was you and a gentleman, I think he was an actor named Tiger.
Yeah.
It was, I guess, a collaboration video on YouTube. And, that's when, it first caught my eye, like, oh, this dude is in shape. He's dedicated to his craft. He's about his business, And then once I, looked more, into you, I realized, okay, he will be great for this podcast, not just because he's an athlete, because we have non-athletes on the podcast as well, but it's the fact that your story caught my eye because you had obstacles to overcome and you overcame the obstacles. You will be one of those positive role models that the youth could benefit from. Have you ever had any experience as far as like people you looked up to that didn't necessarily turn out the way you expect them to be in real life?
It'd be a lot of those, don't it?
Uh-huh.
Hey, but no, I would say like, so that's the thing, like growing up, man, being in the hood, there wasn't a lot of people to look up to. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, I want to be like, it wasn't, I didn't have that. You know what I mean? So I can't say, I can't even give you an answer on that one because I was pretty much, governing myself.
That's good for, for other youth that don't necessarily have, role models that they can always, see every day. But as far as like just believing in yourself, when did you realize that it was time to make something happen as far as just like a legal hustle or a legal means to survive? Like when did you first realize, when did it first hit you?
It probably my junior year in high school. And what made me switch gears was how much attention I was getting from how good I was on the field. Like, all I gotta do is keep doing this, and that shit could take me. It can never bring me out back to the circumstance that I was in. Shit, come on now. And I'm naturally a hard-working motherfucker. I'm a leader, and this is what I love to do. It's a passion. Now all I gotta do is apply the work to my passion, and that could take me out. That was it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It makes sense. Now, a question you probably don't get too often, at this level, from the outside looking in, a young man, a young woman can, go on your IG and see, oh, he got the blue check mark, he got 300,000 followers. However, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because people like you are very driven. You're not just content with staying where you are. So, Mr. Wilson, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, I'm definitely gonna be the world heavyweight champ. That's for absolutely first and foremost. I'm gonna have them belts. One of the things I'm very passionate about outside of fighting is the youth. For at-risk youth, DCFS, probation, all foster kids. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to, really tap in and start building programs all around the states and opening group homes, because a lot of these kids ain't really got nothing to turn to. You know what I mean? And they in these situations, they need just, a little bit of light, a little bit of hope. You know what I mean? Because they just, sometimes you get so locked in on what you got in front of you, and you forget that there's so much more. You know what I mean? So, yeah, absolutely.
And that means a lot to me as well. Like I said earlier, when I came here, I had to learn English, but a different form of English. Like a lot of African countries, you hear they might speak French as a side language. My country, we spoke the old school British English. So, kids used to laugh at me from the alphabet, like Z, we say Z, like the British people. So language was a barrier in addition to not getting involved with the wrong crowd. And, growing up in Detroit, it was easy to get into the wrong crowd. So I had the language barrier to deal with, and I had just the environment to deal with. So, I appreciate your intentions as far as helping out the youth. I hope you don't forget about our small youth podcast here in Detroit, Heavy Brand podcast.
All love, man, for sure.
If you don't mind, I'd like to upload this episode on our Instagram account. There's at Heavy Brand Inc. Inc. like incorporated with the C at the end, to share with the youth, share with the viewers, if you don't mind, Mr. Wilson.
Most definitely.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson, for having us on board. We will be following you as you continue to move up the ladder. And your son, give your son's IG a shout out.
Yeah, check my boys out at Elijah.Wilson Official and James
Jr.
Yeah. And James the Beast Wilson Jr. I mean, they're gonna be the next wave, you know what I mean? They say each generation is supposed to be better than the next, so
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, out there, man, just remember, man, whatever obstacles you face in life, man, is there for a reason. Don't get discouraged by closed doors. Don't get discouraged by no's. It's all the test. I mean, you can't have a testimony without a test. So embrace the hardships, embrace the adversities. It's all there to build your ass up. I mean, to build that armor, to get you ready, and prepare for where you meant to go in life, man. You know what I mean? So just stay encouraged, keep persevering, keep working hard, man. Whatever it is you want in this life, you can obtain it.
Appreciate the words of wisdom, first and foremost. Thank you for coming on board, Mr. Wilson. I'm going to give you my salute.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Have a good one, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you. You too, brother. All right now.